Hey viewers, welcome back to the King Kong review series. We're moving up to the 1960s now, and we're going to enter ripoff territory. During the Ape's great time, there were tons of ripoffs and clones of the original film that were trying to cash in on his success. And today, we're going to look at the 1960s shitfest called Konga. So, what's the plot? Dr. Decker, played by Michael Gough, you know, the guy who played Alfred in the Tim Burton Joel Schumacher Batman movies, comes back to Africa after a year presumed dead. During that year, he came across a way of growing plants and animals to an enormous size. He brings back a baby chimpanzee to test out his theory. But as he has many enemies at home, he decides to use the chimp, Konga, to get rid of them. Then, Konga grows to gigantic proportions and wreaks havoc all over the city of London. So, what can I say about this film? Well, I will say it's a well-written story and the acting is great. It takes itself very seriously and plays well as a psychotic, dramatic thriller. Michael Gough is great in the role of Dr. Decker. You can see a lot of his mind playing around. You're really interested in him at first with his ideas and plans, but as the film progresses and obstacles start to bump him around, you start to misjudge him, and he ultimately becomes a villain and a complete creepo.
Sandra, I need you to work with me. To be with me.
He's married and he hits on his college students. Ew. Margaret is a great character too, and you see her struggles with what she has to deal with. The rest of the cast? Bland, aside from Bob and Sandra. Sandra is very innocent, not taking a hint that Dr. Decker is putting the moves on her. Kind of dumb. Bob, though bland and has his struggles, is not dumb. He sees what Decker is up to and does what a boyfriend would do. Get jealous and completely obsessive. Look at this scene where he confronts Dr. Decker.
Don't throw little questions at me. You're trying to confuse me the way you've mixed her up. Anyway, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. You leave her alone. Be a teacher and nothing else. You've got her hypnotized in some way. That's the only way I can explain what's come over her. You find 100 excuses to meet her after school, to be with her, to keep her from me.
Going a bit Gollum there, dude.
We want Sandra, we love him so much. This offensive precious you will not take her from us.
Even though the film is good in its characters and plot, what kills it is Konga himself. First of all, the fact that he becomes a giant Kong figure at the end, though a cool idea, does seem out of place. Second, and most of all, the suit. It's a very standard issue for the time and looks awful, but I have seen worse. It looks nothing like a gorilla nor a chimp from the neck down. Plus, the animatronic head is really creepy at times, like something out of a Chuck E. Cheese animatronic. Then, there's the actor in the suit. He doesn't act for shit. In his rampage, the actor just walks extremely lazy, like he doesn't give a shit. Then in the close-ups, it looks like they dragged him off the street, put a suit on him, and he looks left and right like, what the fuck is going on? All these elements kind of sum up that they kidnapped a lazy fat World of Warcraft player and stuck an ape suit in him and told him to walk around a bit, hence the laziness. This is what killed the movie for me. The effects aren't really good either. As I said, the suit is bad, but it's also the effects as well, especially with green screen and compositing. You can tell that they filmed scenes on a green screen, and sometimes they don't even bother putting in the background, like these shots. They couldn't afford a giant hand, but instead wrapped the ape suit around the actors. It's even obvious that they couldn't afford a green screen, but instead paint a brick wall bright green and use it as a green screen. This is probably why the compositing shots look really bad. Apparently, C-movie exploitation film producer Herman Cohn had long admired the original King Kong, and he thought the idea of a remake shot in color would bring big bucks. But RKO refused a remake, so Conan paid $25 grand for the rights to the name Kong for exploitation purposes, as long as he refrained from the source material. Also, the special effects for the film, which was one of the first giant monster movies shot in color, took 18 months to complete. But who cares, the effects sucked. To sum it up, it's a B-movie that takes itself way too seriously. Maybe too well that we're invested in the characters in my opinion. But then the effects come in and kill it. So I will say, it's a watch-once movie. 5 out of 10. Well, there's my review of Konga. So you're probably wondering where the ape can end up next now that he's been to London and New York. Well, next time, we'll be going to one of my favorite places in the world, Japan, where 2 Kong films in the 1960s will be made by Toho Studios, the creators of Godzilla. So we'll see you then.